And now you have Mr. Wouter, Group Director at Skeib. Hello, Mr. Wouter.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I want to know your opinion about the press conference until now and how it's going.
It's gone very well, in fact. We had over 250 people in attendance today, which really did exceed our expectations. But perhaps it's not surprising. There's obviously so much happening in the market here that the real estate industry is very keen to get the latest updates on what is happening, where the market is going. And there's no better place to get those updates in just half a day of their time than Cityscape.
So the real estate sector is very important for the Egyptian people, of course.
Of course, that hasn't changed at all. Always has been.
So I want to know the difference between the Gulf area and the Egyptian market in exhibitions.
I think every country has its own fundamentals, really. The Gulf area is struggling from oil price issues, general economic decline. They are going through quite a few austerity measures. Countries like Qatar, like Saudi Arabia are going through that. You see that the UAE, Dubai in particular, are more insulated from that because they have been more successful in diversifying their economies away from oil and focusing more on knowledge-driven industries and tourism. They're quite successful in that, and they're known as a safe haven, both from an investment and from a genuine safety point of view. So every market is unique, and Egypt is even more unique given the current circumstances in the country.
So the Egyptian market is an opportunity for investors. How to attract those investors to our country?
I think the government is doing exactly what is required, however painful it may be in the short term, in particular for Egyptians. As an investor, you want to know that when you invest your money, that your asset is safe and that you are investing into a hard currency, into a market that is driven by supply and demand, and that you have the opportunity to take your profits out at any point in time. Those criteria were not met before the 3rd of November last year, and as part of the IMF negotiations, all that is now happening. So the government has floated the currency, as we all very well know. The government has announced just a couple of days ago that very soon foreign investors, companies will be able to repatriate their funds. The tax base for the government is improving. These are all things that are for people. Let me say on the street, they don't notice the direct benefit of that, and we are very well aware, and so is everyone here, that times are tough for a lot of people at the moment. From an economic point of view, I do believe that this is the painful process that the country needs to go through to get onto a more sustainable growth path, to get the investors coming in, because that is very much the advantage of what's happening right now. Egypt, by floating its currency, has just become a lot more competitive place to buy products from, to go to as a tourist, to set up your business. And I'm quite liberal in my thoughts on that. I believe that ultimately the marketplace needs to be driven by supply and demand. And Egypt has just made itself a lot more competitive overnight. And that will take time to kick in, but I do believe you'll see the advantage of that over the next couple of months, years to come.
So you're enjoying your stay in Egypt here?
I am always enjoying my stay in Egypt, absolutely, yeah.
As you're, of course, the group director of Skeib, I want to know the difference or the unique thing that will be made this year comparing to other years.
Well, unique it's always about the content that we have, whether the content at our event here, the whole structural reforms, the mega projects and the progress that those have made are the main talking points. That's what new. The exhibition, perhaps surprisingly to some people, is looking incredibly strong. It's set to be sold out in the next few weeks and making it the largest ever edition of Cityscape Egypt in the 6 years that we have been running the event. Surprising in the sense that, of course, the market is facing its challenges with construction costs going up, developers being forced to put up their prices. It's not an easy way of doing business for them at the moment, as it is for home buyers. But Cityscape is mainly focusing on the primary market. With that I mean developers selling directly to the investors, rather than the secondary markets where people are reselling the properties. And the developers have not yet put their prices up fully to cover the increase in construction costs, the inflation that is happening. They're expected to do so more so over the course of 2017. And most people are aware of that. So anyone that has cash available in Egyptian pounds and wants to hedge against the inflation risk will go into real estate. As we all know, it has always been considered a safe haven as an investment asset. Absolutely. So that's culturally very strongly ingrained into the Egyptian people. So we benefit from that because a lot of developers seize the opportunity to come to our event and find all those investors that are keen to make the investment. Sales has been incredibly strong over the past couple of months for developers. Whether the margins for them have been as good, the question is absolutely not. They've definitely had to take a hit, but sales has been incredibly strong, and they feel that Cityscape Egypt is the right platform for them to benefit from that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wouter. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.